If you lived through the 1980s or early 90s, you remember the feeling of leaving your house and disappearing. Nobody could reach you. You walked out the door, and until you came back home, you were gone, off the grid, unreachable. If you weren't born yet, imagine this: no texts, no calls, no location tracking. When you left home, the world couldn't find you. If your plans changed, tough luck. If you got lost, you figured it out. If something exciting happened, you stored it in your memory until tomorrow. This is the story of when staying connected required effort, trust, and a little bit of faith. When friendships happened in person. When news traveled slowly. When silence between moments wasn't awkward, it was just life. This is what it was really like. In this video, we're traveling back to a time when leaving your house meant disappearing until you returned. From waiting by the phone for a call to marking exact meeting times and hoping your friend showed up. Before we start, tell me in the comments, where are you watching from, and did you live through this time, or are you a curious younger viewer? I read every comment, and if you enjoy trips like this back in time, please like the video so more people can find it. In the 1980s, when you walked out your front door, you disappeared. Your parents didn't know exactly where you were. Your friends couldn't reach you. There was no way to check in, no way to update anyone, no way to say running late or change of plans. You were just gone until you came back. If you lived through this time, you remember the freedom and the risk. You tell your mom, "I'm going to the mall," and she'd say, "Be home by 6. That was it. No GPS, no texts, no tracking. You were on your own. If something went wrong, you'd have to find a pay phone or knock on a stranger's door. Parents worried more back then. They had to. If you weren't home by 6:15, they'd start getting anxious. By 6:30, they'd be packing. By 7, they'd be calling neighbors asking if anyone had seen you. There was no "find my friends," just worry and waiting. If you're younger, this probably sounds terrifying, and sometimes it was. But it also meant you learned independence fast. You figured things out. You paid attention to street signs. You remembered landmarks. You asked for help when you needed it. You didn't have a phone to bail you out. And here's the thing. When you finally walked through that door at 6:15, your mom would hug you tight. Not because you were in trouble, but because she'd been worried and you'd been unreachable. That's just how it was. Something amazing happened at school. A fight in the hallway, a surprise announcement. Your crush smiled at you, but your best friend wasn't there to see it, so you had to wait. You couldn't text them. You couldn't call them between classes. You just held onto the story until tomorrow. If you lived through this time, you remember that anticipation. Walking into school the next morning, scanning the hallway for your friend, seeing them, running over. "Oh my God, I have to tell you what happened yesterday." And then you'd tell the whole story, every detail. They'd listen because they couldn't have heard it anywhere else. TV shows work the same way. If something huge happened on a show Thursday night, you couldn't talk about it with your friends until Friday at school. No group chats, no live tweeting. You watched it alone or with your family. Then you waited. The next day, everyone would gather and relive it together. If you'd like a longer, deeper video just about this topic, tell me in the comments and write "longer version." Now, let's go back to the story. TV shows work the same way. If something huge happened on a show Thursday night, you couldn't talk about it with your friends until Friday at school. No group chats, no live tweeting. You watched it alone or with your family. Then you waited. The next day, everyone would gather and relive it together. If you'd like a longer, deeper video just about this topic, tell me in the comments and write "longer version." Now, let's go back to the story. The phone in your house was everything. It sat in one spot, usually the kitchen or the hallway, one phone for the whole family, a curly cord attached to the wall. If someone called, whoever was closest answered. "Hello," they'd yell across the house, "Mom, it's for you," or "It's Jenny." If you lived through this time, you remember waiting for a call, sitting near the phone, staring at it, hoping it would ring. Your friend said they'd call at 7, so at 7 you stayed close, If you left, you'd miss it. No voicemail at Primero. No way to know they'd tried, just silence. Busy signals were the worst. You'd call your friend, beep, beep, beep. Someone else was on the line, so you'd hang up and try again 5 minutes later, still busy. 10 minutes later, still busy. Sometimes you'd try for an hour before finally getting through. Patience wasn't optional. If your parents needed to make a call, you had to get off the phone. I need to use it. But I'm talking to Sarah. Now, click, dial tone. Sarah would have to wait. You'd call her back later. Or maybe she'd call you. Or maybe you'd just see her tomorrow at school. And if someone left a message, your mom would write it on a pad of paper by the phone. Brian called at 4:30, call him back. Little yellow sticky notes, scribbled handwriting. Sometimes your sibling forgot to tell you. Sometimes the note got lost. Messages vanished. That's just how it was. When you made plans, you kept them. You couldn't text running late or can we meet somewhere else. You said, I'll meet you at the movie theater at 7. And you were there at 7. Because if you weren't, your friend would wait 15, maybe 20 minutes. Then they'd leave, and you might never know they'd been there. If you lived through this time, you remember the trust. If someone said they'd be somewhere, you believed them. If they didn't show, you assumed something serious had happened. Car trouble, family emergency. You didn't get mad first. You got worried. Then you'd call them later from home to find out what went wrong. Punctuality mattered. If you were always late, people stopped inviting you. They stopped trusting you. Being late meant making someone wait with no way to explain, no way to apologize, no way to say 5 more minutes. You just weren't there, and that hurt. Missed connections happened constantly. I thought you said the mall entrance by Sears. No, I said the one by Macy. You'd both be standing there, only a short distance apart, separated by walls and crowds, neither knowing the other was there. You'd both eventually give up and go home, frustrated, disappointed. But when plans worked, when you both showed up on time and found each other, it felt like a victory, a small miracle. You'd smile, relieved, grateful. You made it. Yeah, of course I did. And that trust, that commitment made the friendship stronger, because showing up mattered, really mattered. Today, you can reach anyone, anytime, anywhere. You can change plans in seconds. You can track where your friends are. You can send a quick text, on my way, and nobody worries. It's easy, convenient, instant. And honestly, it's incredible. Nobody really wants to go back to waiting and worrying and wondering. But something was lost. When you couldn't reach someone, you learned to trust them. When you had to wait until tomorrow to share a story, the anticipation made it sweeter. When you left your house and disappeared, you learned to handle yourself, to think, to solve problems, to be alone with your thoughts. Friendships felt different too. You couldn't maintain a friendship through texts and likes. You had to see each other, talk in person, make time. If you didn't, the friendship faded, so you made the effort. You showed up. You spent hours together face to face with nothing to distract you. Boredom existed. Real boredom, sitting in your room with nothing to do, no phone to scroll, no apps to check, just you and your thoughts, so you'd read, draw, listen to music, call a friend, go outside. Boredom forced creativity. It forced connection. It forced you to live. Cell phones gave us convenience, but they took away a little bit of the mystery, a little bit of the patience, a little bit of the trust. Life moves faster now. Back then, it moved deeper, and maybe that's worth remembering. This was life before cell phones, before constant connection, before you could reach anyone, anytime, for any reason. People disappeared when they left home. Plans required trust. Stories waited until tomorrow. And silence wasn't something to fill. It was just part of life. And maybe that made the connections we did have mean more. Thank you for walking back in time with me. Tell me in the comments, what surprised you the most, and what did you enjoy remembering from your own life? And if you want a full 30 to 40 minute version of this story, let me know as well.